We just saw Dr. Strange.
Hey guys, welcome back to Random Lane. We're your host Amir,
I'm Paul.
and we got to see Doctor Strange.
It was awesome.
Superhero movie, really excited for. Haven't had a good superhero movie since Suicide Squad. It's only been 2 months, but honestly, I was looking at my ticket stubs because I keep them all.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad was the last movie we've seen in theaters.
Yeah, so let me give you a little background on Doctor Strange. We're going to do a review today. You know, our review, our take.
Yeah, so basically, before we talk about the review, the only thing I knew about Doctor Strange was 2 things. He's a sorcerer, and his bad guy or main villain is Dormammu.
Yeah.
So I went in with this movie with knowing nothing about Doctor Strange. I knew about the Infinity Stones, the Avengers, all that, but literally nothing about Doctor Strange.
I knew a little bit about Doctor Strange, a lot more than this guy. I saw a couple of cartoon movies, and I went back and brushed up on my history a few weeks before the movie came out. And so let me give you a little rundown. Basically, he's kind of like Tony Stark. He's a brilliant brilliant neurosurgeon, best at what he does, but he's a total egomaniac. He'll only treat people that'll further his career and make him look awesome. He doesn't just help people just because they need it.
That's one thing I didn't mean to cut. I did not know he was an asshole. I thought he was a nice doctor. This guy is. It really has an Iron Man 1 feel in the sense of
it shows all his money. It shows his
flashy,
watch
his Audi.
And whatnot. But in the comics, so he's a bad guy, but he's a great doctor, and he doesn't mean to be a bad guy. He's just an egomaniac, and there's a couple different story arcs. Reasons why he's a bad doctor. One of them, he lost his sister on the operating table, and so now he has to be the best. And he won't take anything that's not going to further his career. So then it cut to a few scenes later. It shows him driving around. So he gets in a car accident. He crushes his hands between the steering wheel and the dash, and he has extensive nerve damage in the comics. He can't be a neurosurgeon anymore. He gets all these experimental treatments. Doesn't work. He ends up in India. And he ends up meeting somebody called the Ancient One. And the Ancient One, he goes there to be healed. Doesn't like what they have to say. He thinks it's a bunch of mumbo jumbo. He goes to leave. He gets snowed in. And then the Ancient One shows him some stuff. And basically he starts learning about the Doctor Strange powers. And it's all about belief and what you believe is possible for reality and whatnot. And his main villain is this guy Dormammu, who lives in a dark realm. And that's basically the whole backstory.
That was the comic part. And I didn't know any of that, but watching the movie, it's pretty close. It's pretty spot on from what happens.
They pay a lot of homage to the original.
I'm going to check out the comic book movie and look it out because, like I said, I've seen that. I know nothing on Doctor Strange, and I thought it was a good movie. It was very, very well visually stunning.
Yeah, very visually stunning.
We screwed up. We didn't see it in 3D, which I instantly regret because I read comments.
I told you 3D was going to be
everywhere.
I figured it was going to be like Avatar, and if you're going to see it, you should see it in 3D.
So,
I've heard nothing but good things about it.
I mean, it was still visually stunning. It had a lot more humor than I thought. I thought going in,
they did a really good job.
It's a Marvel movie, so it's a little, but the humor was crazy. Like they did
tons of Easter eggs too.
Easter eggs.
But if
good action, so we're gonna do let's talk about what we liked. I like this, like I said, the visual effects.
Yep, visual was good. I think they were pretty on par with the original
story.
Casting choices were good.
Benedict Cumberbatch was pretty good.
Yeah.
I found out that the Ancient One was actually a man in the comic.
Oh yeah, they gender swapped it.
So, but still, I mean, I didn't have any problem.
Yeah, the Ancient One used to be an ancient Indian man or ancient Chinese man. They ended up switching it from the movie. They ended up putting it in Japan, which made a little bit more sense.
Nepal.
Oh, is it Nepal?
It's in Nepal, yeah.
Oh, okay. But, that still makes a little bit more sense.
That's about all. I mean, that's about all I like. The humor, stunning. I think honestly, there was a lot more stuff I didn't like about this movie.
Well, it was. Let's put it this way: it was an entertaining movie. You should definitely see it.
I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying
there was something missing as far as the training goes. Especially, it feels like there was a good half hour cut out of the movie.
He literally went from not knowing how to do any spells.
Yeah.
Literally, the next scene is a Sorcerer Supreme. And I was just
how they explained it away was they made it so that he had photographic memory. And
it's kind of BS. I mean, we get it, you're a good doctor,
he's photographic memory, but that wasn't really the issue, is being able to memorize all the spells and whatnot. It was more of a belief thing, is how the superhero works. It's all about believing that reality is all ridiculous. BS, and there's a multiverse, and you can switch throughout them. And
another thing that kind of
draw from other realms.
Made me irritated was the Ancient One has her special books locked away that no one could do. This dude walks up there and just starts doing the spell.
No, in the movie they didn't make it so they were locked away. They said all knowledge is available, but they just said he wasn't to that level yet. There's nothing that's forbidden.
What's still sitting with me. The fact that he went in, it didn't even. If it wouldn't make me as mad if it said 4 months later, 5 months later, and had him train. Is the fact that he literally couldn't.
Yeah, it made it seem like it was like a 2-day span. He went from like knowing nothing and like he just learned in battle. I mean, I feel like it should have been more like Jedi training style, where he should have been gone for like 2 years and like maybe he was a great
another
student.
thing too. I don't know if it's just my mind. I felt like the movie ended like that. Like I felt like I sat down and it just.
Well, that's why I
ended.
said I feel like there's about a half hour missing from the movie.
Other main thing I didn't like.
They didn't make Mordo start off evil. Mordo was like just a by the book, straight edge kind of guy in this. Whereas in the comics, if I'm not mistaken, he was pretty much turning evil by the time Dr. Strange got there.
Yeah,
Hold on, let me explain. The reason why he ends up turning evil, it doesn't happen till the end, is because he finds out that the Ancient One was she lived so long because she was drawing her power from the Dark Realm, and he just didn't want anybody going against the laws of nature, and the world's being destroyed at the end. If we didn't tell you at the beginning, definitely spoilers. We need to write that in there. But the world's just being destroyed, and Dr. Strange ends up using this thing that you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to mess with time, and he pulled out a spell with his with the Eye of Amagatu and puts on like a little magical,
I don't even know what to call it.
Like a hologram ring, and he can spin back time by turning his hand one way. And he stops like the destruction of the world.
Well, you're not supposed to mess with time, and you're not supposed to mess with the Dark Realm.
Yeah, there's like a lot of things you're not supposed to mess with, and they hint at it, but they don't get into everything. But there's a lot more rules and not rules. I mean, it seems like the things that you're allowed to do in this movie are pretty much just like create portals.
Yeah.
And go to the mirror realm and mess around in there.
Yeah, the other main thing I didn't like was like I said, I only knew 2 things about Doctor Strange, which was Doctor Strange, the sorcerer, his villain Dormammu. From Marvel vs. Capcom 3, he was like a villain. Like he had a body with a flaming head, like kind of like Ghost Rider, you know?
Yeah, and this they went
lazy. They went lazy. I'll tell you right now. They went lazy.
If you've seen Green Lantern
or Fantastic Four,
yeah, they went with the big floating head in the sky.
They went
like Parallax,
Parallax, and then Galacticus was a cloud. In this movie, Dormammu was just a floating head.
Yeah, he's a floating head.
I wanted him to be in the human,
But we don't know that he can't compress his form. So
yeah, I mean, like I said,
there's other movies to come. He's not dead. I don't want to just blow the entire ending,
go watch it. I mean, like I said,
you should watch it. I'd give it a good 7 out of 10. But you'll definitely notice that there's something missing in the film. It's a little short. Training goes a little quick. And other than that, I really have no criticisms.
I'd say 5, 6. No, that's too low. I'll
give it a 7 because
it's 6.5 to 7.
It's a great story. It's a great storyline.
It's way better than Thor 1 and Thor 2.
It's one of the most original storylines that they haven't really messed with from the original comics.
It was a good origin story.
Yeah, it's a great origin story.
I even think if you're not a Marvel fan, you could enjoy this because
you wouldn't even have to know anything about anything else in the other universes. They do a couple name drops, and at the end, after
they don't
the credits,
that. Yeah. Okay, stay after the credits. It's a pretty funny one.
Yeah,
there's 2 of them though.
Yeah, stay for both of them.
Like I said, I think this is up there for me.
I'm going for 7.
I'm going to say 6.5 to 7. For me, it goes up there with like Ant-Man because I mean, I don't know if I can watch it again. Maybe like one more time, but it's not to me.
That's true. I don't know how much replay value it has.
Iron Man 1.
I have to wait till I see it on cable TV again and see if I feel like sitting through it.
I know you can too. Avengers and Iron Man, we could watch the crap out of.
The first Avengers.
And the first Iron Man.
Yeah.
But I mean, like...
Like Age of Ultron, I can't keep watching that.
To me, it's definitely better than Thor 2. I thought that one was the worst Marvel... Or no. Iron Man 3 was the worst one.
Yeah, that one was pretty bad.
Yeah, go see it, and please like and subscribe.
You'll enjoy it. You'll have a good time, more than likely. Unless you're really critical, but... Other than that,
it's a fun Marvel movie. Go in there, just a fun Marvel movie.
I'd recommend it. And he's 6.5, I'm 7. It might be a little high. You might be right. It might be more on par with 6. And I'm thinking about some of the other movies that are out there. Yeah.
I mean, dude.
All right, I'll go 6. 6 out of 10.
That's what I said.
6 out of 10 stars. Critics seem to love it because it's something new.
And that's another thing for another video, but critics are definitely more biased towards Marvel movies. This movie
it's like movies in general.
No, I mean this movie already got 90%.
They like war movies.
This
mostly.
movie got 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. Batman v Superman is getting crapped on.
Yeah.
So let us know in the comments if you guys like the movie and
what you'd rate it.
And
please like and subscribe and come back for more reviews. We'll try to do some more of these. Thanks a lot.